Hi, today I'm going to go over how to start setting up your account, and the place that we're going to start is to get your coffee products set up. To start with your coffee products, we have to go through building out our green coffees, our blends, and roasts, and then we can start setting up our coffee products. You want to think of it as a coffee product is the item in the bag that you sell to someone, and we need to know all of the ways that that coffee goes into that. So, what's the green bean you bring in? What do you do with it? Do you roast it? So to what degree? And then how do you blend it? So I'm going to start with, we go to inventory here. We're going to go to green coffees. In our green coffees page, this is in our demo, so we already have some green coffees in here. There are a couple different ways you can start getting your green coffees in. One is that you can export our CSV file that gives you a format sort of with these names on the top of a CSV that you can then fill in with the information and then import it. And so that's one way for you to do a bulk import of your green coffee. If you are using a roast profiling software, oftentimes people find that simple, especially if they have a lot of green coffees. That is an easy way to do it. If you don't have that many, it also is very easy to just start with a new green coffee here. We go to new, you're going to put the lot name in here. So you just would do an example here like a Ethiopia. And you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to do Yirgacheffe, but I'm not going to spell it out. The origin I can put in here is Ethiopia, and then if there's an ID. It's good to note you only need to do what's required. You can see the asterisk there with lot name. You don't have to put in origin. You don't have to put in external ID. It's only if you choose to. You do have to enter in the cost. So say we're buying this for $4.25 a pound. You also don't need to enter in any of the lot details if you don't want to, but you can. So it's all up to you how much information around your green coffee you'd like in here. A lot of people, you might put in the year or the processing method. Maybe this is a natural, and you can put other information in if it has any certifications, and then you just go to create coffee. We now have this new Ethiopia right here, okay? And you can see that I didn't enter some of the other things in, so it was a little quicker, but you can enter all of those things in. That is how you get your green coffees in. If you wanted to go to edit that, you click on the three dots. You can edit here. You could say, you know what, now I remembered what that lot name was. I didn't know before. I can enter that in. So it's pretty simple page there. After our green coffees, we're going to move on to our pre-blends. If you are blending green coffee beans before you roast them to make your blends, this is the page for pre-blends. We also have the capability of doing the post-roast blends. So don't worry about that. The one thing to note here is that when you're entering in the green coffees, pre-blends, roasts, and blends, you will want to enter them in that order because each item will pull from the previous one as an ingredient, okay? You'll see what I'm talking about here. If we go to enter in a new pre-blend, if this name is going to be the March Madness blend, as we're at the end of February here, and the percentage, I'm going to do 50, and then you can see it's asking me what green coffee, and so it's pulling from what I just put in before. So with this, I'm going to do a 50% Rwanda, and then a 50% Guatemala, okay, to create that blend. One thing to note on here, these two fields are not smart fields right now, so they do need, you should just double check that it equals 100, okay? And then you just press create, so it's very basic. It's quick, easy to get set up. If you don't do pre-blends, just skip that and you would move on to roast. That's gonna be your next step. Roast is, oftentimes we know that people will sell something as like your decaf Columbia dark roast, and so they think, well, that's my coffee product. But you want to think of the roast as part of the ingredient because oftentimes people also will use, so say for this Columbia medium roast, this might be something that you sell as the Columbia medium roast. You might also sell it as the Main Street Cafe house blend because you're just going to use a certain ingredient and put a different name on it. So it's important that you're viewing in this roast page, this is all about how you're actually roasting that coffee or that green pre-blend. We're going to go to a new roast here. So if this is our new roast, we're going to just do we're going to stick with our March Madness. Okay, and the green coffee, we're actually not pulling from a green in this one because we're going to pull from a pre-blend. So you have the choice. You can either pull from a single green coffee or a pre-blend. Okay, and it's really important to know the weight loss. Most people know this weight loss either just by tracking it for their costs or by from their roast profiling software. If you don't know the weight loss, I recommend this coming week as you're roasting, measure how much green you put in and measure what comes out and figure out the percent loss, because it's very important for you to have accuracy to know what you need to roast and a green weight when to get the desired roasted weight. So we use this number in our calculations for operations, which will be where you'll live after everything's set up. So just make sure that this number is pretty accurate. So say we're at like 13% loss, okay? So you just put in the percentage there. The next one is batch size, okay? So do you roast a constant batch size? You can select that. Let me move this. And if you have a constant batch size, you can just put in the number here. Every batch is 25 pounds. Again, if you have a range that you roast, you can also do a range. So say you roast between 15 to 25, no problem. You are doing this per roast. So it could be that some roasts you roast a constant batch size and others you do the range. So it's up to you. You get to put this in for either one. And then you just press create roast. We've now created the March Madness blend right here, okay? And I do recommend just, you get all those roasts in. It's pretty quick. It doesn't take too long. After roasts, we're going to go into the blends. And the generic word of blend is our post-roast blends is what we're talking about. So this is taking 2 roasted coffees, 2 or more, and putting them together. You can see here we have quite a few. Again, just a reminder, those 3 dots are where you can edit, you can do inventory transactions, or you can deactivate a product that's already in there. If you're searching for one and you can find it, there is also a filter. You can do a quick search here, or you can do some of our pre-existing filters. For the blend, you just press new blend here, and then we're going to do another March Madness. We're going to do let's do a spring cleaning blend. You see my theme here? Okay, so in this one, we're only pulling from roasts because this new blend is a post-roast blend. So we're going to do a 60% here of our, let's do this Colombian, and then a 40% of our Mexican, okay? So this is our spring cleaning blend. Okay, and we can see that down here. Got our spring cleaning blend right here. It's telling us what we've got. Okay, so we've now gone and we've done our green coffees, our pre-blends, set up our roasts, and put our blends in. At this point, we're ready to create a coffee product, okay? So we're gonna go up here to coffee product. We're gonna go to new product. Okay, you can see we have 19 products in here already. This page is displaying both your coffee products and your non-coffee products. You can always filter by coffee products, bundles, inactive products. There's lots of different ways to see things depending on the size of your roastery and how many products you have. This can often be helpful. But for our basics and setting up our coffee product, we're going to go here and we're going to click coffee. Okay, so for this one, we're going to set up our spring cleaning blend. Spring cleaning blend, okay? So the short description and the long description, these next 2 things, these are going to be what are shown on the portal. So think of it like your like the wholesale website, our portal. And so that is what would appear as like when you want a description of what this coffee is. Right now, you can either put them in now. A lot of people will just copy that off their website, but you don't have to enter that right now. It's up to you. A lot of times you'd have something like light and fruity, something like that. And then you might have a longer description of like this blend is, you might want to talk more about the coffee, where it's from, the farm. It's all up to you of what you do with it. This section is around availability in the portal and exclusivity. As you're getting your coffee product set up, what I always recommend is just get the basics of the products in. I'm going to have another video to go over exceptions, but don't worry around exclusivity right now in catalogs. for now, everything that you put in when you're setting up your account should be active. Availability, though, this would be if something, and please note the question marks. They're always nice. If you have a question, you see a question mark anywhere, it'll tell you a little bit more about what this means. Active means any sales channel. So if you sell this product, you might not sell it wholesale, but if you sell it commerce somewhere else, like whether on your website or in your cafe, then this should be marked as active. If you had a holiday blend that now it's time for the winter blend, we're going to transition and turn that off, you would just go into editing that product and turn it off here, just a toggle. But like I said, as you're setting up your products, everything should be active. Available on the portal means essentially, are you selling this wholesale through your portal? Sometimes people will have products that they do not sell on the portal, and this is where you toggle that on and off. Sometimes it is a specific, maybe a small run coffee that you got in that you're only selling commerce or in your own cafe and you're not wholesaling it on the portal. Or it also could be something, just a specific thing that you just choose not to. So this is where you choose not to have it on the portal. We're going to come back in another video to catalogs and exclusivity. As we go down, image, this is just something that you can upload later for what having displayed that product on the portal. You'll have an image that you can choose from, but we don't have to set that up right now. There's only some of the fields that have to be set up right now. Product organization is the groups. So here you'll choose, we have I think 5 or 6 default ones: single origin, blend, bundle, coffee, other. Jack's Products is a unique, that's a one in the demo that was an added one. We're going to put this in as coffee and as a blend. Okay, those are the 2 categories. So that in the portal, if we want to organize it, so that people can click on things at the top, that's how we show that. For the recipe, this is where we're going to choose the spring cleaning blend. Oops, we can type here. And you can see I just put an S in, and it's bringing up everything with an S in it anywhere. But I'm going to choose from this blend right here. If I didn't do that, if I scrolled, the ones at the top are roasts with just 1 coffee. And then if we go down a little further, you can see the blends. We've got the blends that are, I'm sorry, I misspoke. They're roasts with 1 coffee or a pre-green pre-blend. So that's what you'd see in the top section. And then the post-roast blends are down below. So we'll put that S in though, and it'll bring us back to that spring cleaning blend. You do need to have something in label cost. So even if you want it to be 0, you don't want to put a label cost in there. You don't have to, but you do have to at least put a 0 in. Or say you're like, I know that these labels are 15 cents. You enter that in. We would expect that you would already have your bags and grinds set up before you create the coffee products. If you don't have that, you'll want to go do that first. And I will just duplicate this and show you where. If you go into, again, in inventory, then we can go to bags. You can set up a new bag here, or these are the bags that you would have. So whatever bags that you are selling, whatever package size, you want to put all of those in, and they will show up on your products as you're creating them. And the same goes with your grinds. Whatever grind options that you offer, and you have the ability to turn them on and off. You might not offer, you might offer only whole bean and drip for your 5-pound bags, but for your 12-ounce bags, you might offer all the different kinds. No problem. We can do that, but you do have to have all of the options there. So this is where you're setting up new grind options. Okay, back to our coffee product. All coffee products have the 2 option sets of bags and grinds. So you can see these were were in the ones that I just showed you. Down here is where we're going to be looking at those variants. We've got, this is our 12-ounce bag with all of the different grind options. You might say that actually I only do the Turkish and espresso. We only have that for a couple products. We don't do it on most of them. And so I'm turning those 2 off. You have the choice to do that at any variant level to turn them on or off as what is visible. You can also, you have to enter a price, and for anything that is active, you do have to enter a wholesale price. And again, this is the wholesale, not retail price, just to remind you. So for that 12-ounce bag, maybe you sell that at, $10.25, okay? If you enter it in the field up here, it will automatically update everything below. But you might say, hey, Danny, I actually charge a little bit more for the grind. And so maybe for your whole bean, it's only $10 for the bag. So you can see that you have that option to price them by variant for each of those. It could be that you have a 2-pound bag, but maybe only your top 3 sellers you sell in this 2-pound bag. If you say, this spring cleaning blend, I don't sell it in a 2-pound bag, you can just turn that off and it won't show up on the portal. It's not available for purchase. Same thing with the samples. You might have it so that maybe in the sample you only offer it in whole bean and drip, and those are the only 2 that you want to offer. And you're going to say that one is $5. Again, anything that's active, you have to put a price in. So here I'm going to put $65 for all of our 5-pound back options. So it looks like I have a price in all of those. I think I have everything, and we're going to create the product. Okay, so it's saving the data, and it went through. If for some reason it didn't go through, it would give you a red error message and tell you you have to, so this is the success. It would give you a little one that's pink and say didn't work. So I've now created my first coffee product, and we are ready to just finish out the rest of your coffee products. You want to just continue on that. And then after you get your coffee products set up, we will move on to customers. That'll be the next video. That'd be great for you to watch. Let us know if you have any questions.